Well, thanks for joining us on debate number 3. And the big question is the idea of appeasement larger than the idea of India for certain people who are in the government in Bengal? Because we are given to understand that it is orders from the higher-ups that prompted the cancellation of this event that sought to expose the truths, the reality of Pakistan's involvement in Jammu and Kashmir and the ongoing genocide in Balochistan. And why did certain people have problems? Let's ask our panelists this and let's debate this outright. Major General G.D. Bakshi, Colonel Diptanshu Chaudhury, they were all part of this entire seminar which got cancelled. And then we have Major Gaurav Arya with us from the Delhi studio. Maulana Maqsood-ul-Hasan Qasmi with us in the Delhi studio. Professor Kamal Mitra Chenoy joining us from Goa. Irfan Hafeez loaned from Jammu and Kashmir. Engineer Rashid, independent MLA, joining us from Jammu. My first question, and before I put that question across, I have a few things to state. And let's ask this and let's put this out openly. Maulana Maqsood-ul-Hasan Qasmi, when the likes of Gilani and his supporters take out rallies on the streets of Kashmir and fly Pakistan flags, that becomes free speech for a certain section. But the moment someone wants to speak about Kashmiri Pandits or Balochistan, it's suddenly a law and order situation. When ISIS flags are raised in Kashmir, it is justified as part of the angst amongst the Kashmiri youth. But if someone wants to hold a seminar on Balochistan in Kolkata, they are blocked. Now, was the communal violence in Malda and Dhulagarh in West Bengal a law and order issue or a seminar held in Kolkata on Balochistan and Kashmir? When a seminar is held in Bangalore where a pro-secessionist slogans are raised, or at JNU where Afzal Guru is praised, it becomes a free speech issue. But when someone wants to discuss Balochistan in a metropolitan city, they are blocked on law and order grounds. When Taslima Nasreen is attacked or threatened, some say that's the reaction that is, it has to be understood because of her writings. But the moment a seminar on Balochistan and Kashmir are stopped, the discourse shifts from freedom of expression to law and order. There are many more, sir. There are many more. This is just brazen appeasement. And why, sir? Why?
Anand, you are projecting people like us as a pro-Pakistani or pro-IS. This is the fatal failure of the JNK government, which is part of BJP. Then
if you are not, I also agree, sir. It is unfair. It is unfair. It is unfair. It is unfair by that practicing this politics of appeasement. There are people who are trying to brand certain sections of society as pro-Pak. So you please condemn and tell the Bengal government to apologize and instruct the Calcutta Club. How dare they cancel this event? Say it, sir. Say it. Do this seminar. Do it in Kolkata. Do it at the Calcutta Club, and we will tell you there is no law and order situation.
You are giving preference. You are giving priority to Pakistan. First of all, we should discuss our own issues. And people of Balochistan who are out here to create triple cells here, and we in this debate, there are people who in past 10 years ago have advocated for the dissolution of my country into multiple pieces, into multiple nations. And what type of Desh Bhakti is this?
What Desh Bhakti are you talking about? Tarek Fatah, Calcutta Club.
Yes, he has.
It's always been an institution where debate has been intrinsic. It's part of the values of the Calcutta Club.
Have been advocating for dissolution of my country into multiple nations. Today are learning as the lesson of the patriotism. What type of Desh Bhakti is this?
काज़मी साहब दूसरों को भी बोलने दें.
Yes.
Tarek Fatah, Calcutta Club has often been a forum where debates and open debates of the intelligentsia are something that has always been welcomed. Now, do we see a situation arising in West Bengal where the government, where the police is going to take decisions on what seminar can be held and what cannot be held, what words of the seminar can be used and what can't be used? The word Kashmir and Balochistan, clearly the establishment, they are having problems with it. Is this appeasement going too far, or is this once again a question of the fact that even the intelligentsia can't talk about the oppressed classes because you are catering to a certain minority public view in Kolkata and the rest of West Bengal?
Navika, you are dodging my question. First of all, question should be asked to the person who is here, who is calling for dissolution of my country.
I will decide on this debate what question has to be asked and what does not have to be asked. We will ask every question that we want to ask. You are here to give your comments. You have given your comments. You have given your comments.
People who are enemy of my country are here.
You are saying my country, as if the country doesn't belong to the other panelists. The country belongs to all of us. We are equally worried about this country. You have had your say. Allow the other panelists to come in, please.
The problem is people are very accustomed to ruling and giving sermons from mosques, and they are unaccustomed to a civilized debate. And that is precisely what is taking place here. It's not just the Calcutta Club. The city of Calcutta has been home to revolutionaries and freedom fighters from time immemorial. Ever since the East India Company came there, this has been the intellectual capital of Bharat. But what is happening lately is what the Supreme Court very recently, a few days ago, came about, is the use of religion, caste, ethnicity for election and political purposes. Now, just analyze what the Banerjee government has done. First of all, Mamata Banerjee has tried to silence me. The instructions clearly gave out was that Tarek Fatah should not be allowed to come to Calcutta or to West Bengal. They've done this with Taslima Nasreen, they've done this with a lot of other people, and the issue simply is catering to the worst class of Muslim activists who are Islamists, who consider themselves primarily loyal first to Islam and then to India. Now, if Ms. Banerjee thinks she has shut me off,
this is rubbish.
Then she should wait for Saturday when I will come out and I will expose all these things, because it is driven by people who have infiltrated the West Bengal administration and the Calcutta police, where they impugned. Just an hour ago I spoke to one of the representatives, a political science professor representing Mamata Banerjee, and she said, well, we don't know what could be said. My goodness, is this India's democracy after 70 years, that a chief minister would second guess the future speech, the possible speech on Balochistan? If you calculate and mathematically analyze what she said, is very dangerous. She says that if the event on Balochistan went through, it would create communal disharmony. And she sent the cops over. It's almost like the Soviet Union. And the cops said to the club people, take this out. They pulled them into the police station and asked the president and the secretary to cancel everything, meaning otherwise and suggesting otherwise, that if true, this is very alarming, that West Bengal's Muslims and Calcutta Muslims are primarily loyal to Pakistan. And if I spoke against Pakistan, against Pakistan,
that's a valid opinion.
This person from foreign origin, especially from Pakistan, cannot interfere in our
Let me ask you, Gaurav, Arya.
Objectionable to the foreign ministry. Why this foreign ministry is giving the passport visa to this such person who is out here to create this communal disharmony?
In Calcutta,
he is here to incite communal passion.
No, there is no communal passion in discussing Balochistan. You know, if you talk about Balochistan, it exposes the entire rhetoric of Pakistan. Qasmi Saab, let me get in Major Gaurav Arya. Gaurav Arya, when Burhan Wani is hailed as a martyr and described as a victim of circumstances, it is perfectly acceptable to certain political people. And we know which political people we are talking about. Yes. When Taslima Nasreen is attacked and threatened, some say the reaction should be understood because of her writings. What happens when a debate on Kashmir is stopped? What about right to freedom of expression? Qasmi Saab, I am asking him a question. Qasmi Saab, I am asking him a question. You will have to control yourself. When I come to you, you can make the point that you wish to make. Okay. But in the middle of my conversation with Major Arya, please do not interrupt. That's basic manners of holding a debate.
But he's used to a madrasa and a mosque, so you have to excuse him.
Well, One of the questions that was raised in JNU also was that India was described by some as intolerant, and it was talked about tukde kar denge, desh ke tukde kar denge. All that was acceptable to certain political parties. But now when it comes to holding a debate on Balochistan and Kashmir and raising the issue of atrocities in Balochistan and the role of the Pakistanis in this, it becomes an issue that disturbs communal harmony of West Bengal?
I think what Mamata Banerjee has done is she has infused a very dangerous and potent mixture of communalism and fascism into West Bengal politics. This was never there before. West Bengal was the intellectual capital of India. And they said that whatever Bengal spoke about today, India thought tomorrow. Now, Mamata Banerjee has spoiled it for all times to come now. People say, why should you discuss Balochistan? Balochistan is an integral part of Pakistan. Well, that may be true. That may be true physically, but also the fact that, these very people go on Facebook and Twitter and discuss Palestine. What do they have to do with Palestine? What does a Kashmiri politician have to do with Palestine? If their hearts can bleed for Palestine because there are Muslims in Palestine, what is the religion of the Baloch?
Muslim.
They're Muslims. That is all that we are discussing. That's all. There's nothing else to it.
So do you think this is narrow political gains that we are talking about, Mamata Banerjee? And Colonel Diptanshu Chaudhury, you were the organizer of this entire event. Why don't you take our viewers through what exactly happened? You were given permission on the 5th of December. You've been organizing this entire seminar for days and weeks now. And finally, when were you actually told? On the 4th of January, why was the entire permission taken away? What were the political compulsions that led the Calcutta Club to take away the permissions from you? And did you also have to answer questions of the police which took away the permission from you?
I will describe the entire event in very brief. Swadhikar Bangla Foundation, which I am the founder chairman, had planned an event with a title, The Saga of Balochistan and Kashmir. We wanted to discuss Kashmir's problem, Baloch, whether it is as per the history, it is integrated to Pakistan, or it is a doubtful, or there is a clout, or it is a controversial. We all know as per the history, on 11th of August 1947, prior to our independence, Baloch people has got their independence. However, as it stands today, the scenario is absolutely different. If Honorable Prime Minister from the rampart can talk about Balochistan and the freedom at Balochistan, so we had planned that to discuss the issue of Kashmir and Balochistan in respect with intelligentsia in Calcutta Club, which is actually the hub of the intelligentsia in Calcutta. However, on 30th of December, I was called to the club suddenly and was told to drop the word Kashmir by the Calcutta Club authorities, stating that the word Kashmir is sensitive. This may fuel tension in the city or in the state, and we request you. After half an hour, the request became coercing, and they forced us to drop the word Kashmir. Since the days were numbered, 31st and 1st was holiday. We had 4 or 5 days prior to the event, so we had to accept and the pressure which they had put down. So we cancelled the word or dropped the word Kashmir against our wishes, and we went with that new title, The Saga of Balochistan, which is evident from the 2 posters which is there in the Calcutta Club. They had removed it on 31st, the erstwhile the Saga of Kashmir and Balochistan. On 2nd, we had informed the Calcutta police that such an event is happening, though it's completely a private club, and the event was a restricted entry event with only the members of Calcutta Club and few members of Swadhikar Bangla Foundation. However, on 3rd morning, the Calcutta Club authorities were being called by the Calcutta police, and what has transpired between them is not known. However, in the afternoon when I was called, I found the entire publicity, the scanty posters had been removed from Calcutta Club, and the club committee, the CEO, had told me that there is an apprehension that this by the police, that this is being a very sensitive talk if we talk about Balochistan. No, and there is one person who is coming who have got a habit of talking about anti-Pak rants. This might
if it no,
in the city
Colonel
as well as in the state.
Colonel Diptanshu,
and on
Colonel Diptanshu, if that was said to you, and I'm going to bring in Major General G.D. Bakshi on this,
Yeah.
that Major General
Yeah.
G.D. Bakshi, how can
Yeah.
an anti-Pak rant made by certain people who always go on an anti-Pak rant on Indian soil in Kolkata, in the Kolkata club, ever be a law and order issue, sir? How will it ever be a law and order issue?
Now, I don't
Major General
understand
G.D.
what is the
Bakshi,
word
I'm just
rant
saying,
means.
can
We
you
talk
believe-
what is happening in Pakistan?
No. Major General G.D. Bakshi, it was a seminar to expose Pakistan. It was in Kolkata, the intelligent hub of India, where the most intelligent minds debate, discuss, talk about everything under the sun. But this was an effort to expose Pakistan. It was an effort to try and highlight the plight of Kashmiri Pandits. It was an effort to try and show to what the Balochis are suffering over in Pakistan. So why would anybody have a problem on Indian soil about exposing Pakistan, sir, in Kolkata? Have you been able to come to grips with that, sir?
I have not been able to come to terms with this. This is utterly amazing. It is astounding that on Indian soil you cannot talk of Kashmir, that you cannot talk of Balochistan, that you cannot carry further an aspect raised by our own Prime Minister from the ramparts of the Red Fort, that somebody is going to curb my right to free speech, that somebody is going to pre-censor, pre-judge what I or any other panelist would say. The whole aim of this seminar was to expose the Pakistani hypocrisy. When they talk of pellet guns being used in Kashmir, let us ask them what they are doing in Balochistan. There they are firing their artillery guns. They are using tanks. They have been using fighters and bombers.
Comparison. You have devised a strategy wherein you want to deflect from Kashmir
Let me finish, my friend. We'll have a lot of time to hear you. Let me finish my piece. Then I would love to hear you.
No.
I would love to hear you. Let me finish my piece. You are interrupting.
No. Irfan Hafeez loan. 1 second.
Loan, sir, what is your problem with Balochistan?
No, Irfan Hafeez loan, please understand. When Major General G.D. Bakshi and you are debating,
It doesn't before you.
Irfan,
See what is happening in
Irfan, hear my question. Irfan,
what
please.
is happening in Kashmir?
Irfan, please.
Our
Irfan,
rivers are full with
Pakistan is occupied.
Pakistan is occupied.
Irfan
Hafeez loan. Irfan Hafeez loan, please wait.
You are talking about
Irfan Hafeez loan. Irfan Hafeez loan, understand the question, please. Before you.
Why don't you ask the Pakistan army to withdraw from Pakistan occupied Kashmir?
Irfan Hafeez loan.
Mr. Loan, when will you ask the Pakistan army to withdraw from Gilgit
Irfan Hafeez
Baltistan?
loan, just hear my question
Why are
out
you
and then you can
happy
rebut. You
with
can
Chinese
shout as much as you want. Just hear my question out, please. Please hear my question out. Please hear my question out, Irfan, and then you can make your point. You shout as much as you want. I will keep quiet. सुन तो लो इरफान भाई सुन लो इरफान आप सुन लो इरफान आप सुन लो मैं आपसे क्या कह रहा हूँ if you have when you debate with Major General G.D. Bakshi about what is happening in Kashmir, it is two Indians who are having a debate about what is the issue in Kashmir. Please understand this. What was happening today was there was a seminar that wanted to highlight the plight of Kashmiri Pandits who were forced out of Kashmir and to talk about Balochistan. You might say, why do you want to talk about Balochistan? But why should you stop somebody from talking about Balochistan? The question is that, Irfan Hafeez loan, you have a debate with Major General G.D. Bakshi about what you believe is the issue in Kashmir and what he believes is the issue in Kashmir, but have the debate. This was stopped. A discussion, a seminar was being stopped. No. How is that fair? Whether you have it in Srinagar, whether you have it in Mumbai, whether you have it in Delhi, whether you have it in Delhi or you have it in Kolkata, it is we are allowed to have the debate, sir. We are allowed to have the debate. Who is stopping? Why is it being stopped? You should ask the question, Irfan Hafeez loan, that why is it being stopped?
freedom of speech is not absolute. It provides reasonable restrictions.
Very good, very good. Excellent. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Hafeez, Lord,
Excellent.
what's wrong about
crazy?
Indians discussing the situation in Kashmir? What's wrong in Indians discussing the situation
Oh,
in
remember
Kashmir?
that for JNU.
Why
This is very
should
good.
the
Thank you.
Calcutta Club
Thank
not
you.
allow such a debate? Let me
Exactly.
get in Professor
Thank you
Kamal
so
Mitra
much.
Chenoy. Professor Kamal Mitra Chenoy, the question is, why
Absolutely
should
crazy.
Balochistan be discussed when it
Crazy.
was the government of India at an international platform like the 33rd session of the UN Human Rights Commission in September 2016 highlighted human rights violation in Balochistan. They discussed it in the 33rd session of the UNHRC. What's wrong in it being discussed on the grounds of Calcutta Club? Why should the government become so holier than thou that they cannot allow anything against Pakistan to be discussed on this soil? Because it has communal ramifications.
You can see the communal ramifications.
Where are the communal ramifications? The communal ramifications are in Dhulagarh. Are there communal ramifications on the grounds of Calcutta Club, Kamal Mitra Chenoy?
But we are seeing this on this show.
Well, first of all, I'd like to ask, why is this point being raised about public order? The Prime Minister spoke, members of his cabinet spoke on the Balochistan question, on how there's much more serious problems in Balochistan as compared to Kashmir, which Pakistan keeps raising. And throughout the country, there was no public disorder. And the freedom of speech and expression, which is a fundamental right, can only be curbed if there is public disorder. Where was the public disorder? On what grounds has
In
the
Dhulagarh.
Bengal police said that Bengal is different from the rest of India? No, but the problem is, where was the threat of public order? It didn't happen when the Prime Minister spoke, when other ministers spoke, when members of Parliament spoke about Balochistan. How does Calcutta, of all places, suddenly become so vulnerable that a seminar which has restricted entry is stopped? And about Kashmir, the argument being made that Kashmir is very sensitive. But people talk about Kashmir all the time. The media reports it. The Kashmiris themselves have their own position. So there is no disorder in other places because of that. So what is the argument I fail to see on the behalf of the West Bengal police? And obviously the West Bengal police are only using this after being ordered by the political administration. Now this is completely ridiculous that a Prime Minister can say something in Delhi addressing the whole country and addressing the international community, but people in a small club in Calcutta cannot. I mean, this is absolutely undemocratic and totally against the spirit of Article 19 on freedom of speech and expression.
Before I go across to Engineer Rashid, Tarek Fateh raising his hand. Yes, Tarek Fateh, you wanted to come in on that point. If the Prime Minister can speak, why can't individuals in their own capacity speak on the same subject?
The problem is that a very large number of the Islamic leadership of India's Muslim community do not see Balochistan worth their while. Their hearts beat with Palestine, but even though tens of thousands of Baloch have died, they were very concerned that Brahmadag Bukti was to address this via Skype from Geneva in exile, and primarily they were concerned, and the Colonel pointed this out, they did not want me to raise the issue because I've lived over there for the last 45 years. I fought for the rights of the Baloch for independence because Pakistan occupied an independent country in 1948, and both Kashmir and Balochistan have a parallel that in both countries the Pakistan military invaded the states. In Kashmir they were stopped, in Balochistan they succeeded. And that is a parallel that the Islamic leadership in India doesn't want to hear because it deflects it away from their obsession that they are Arabs, that they are somehow superior to people like me who are converts to Islam, and this disturbs their status quo because nobody else comes up and challenges them and says that you essentially are holding the entire Muslim community in India backward by providing a leadership that is blind.
Radhika.
Engineer Rashid hasn't spoken, him, and then I'll come to you. Yes, Anand, you were going across to Engineer Rashid.
No, he's already decided he has a point to make. So let Engineer Rashid say. Engineer Rashid, the first thing you want is debate. You want to talk and you want to raise issues. Correct? You also know that you could have debated it in the Jammu and Kashmir Assembly, although you decided to do something else. But why stop a debate? Why stop a seminar?
Sir,
how is that right?
Sir, please give me. Sir,
Go
please
ahead.
give me uninterrupted 2 minutes.
Go
I
ahead.
hope nobody will interrupt. I have kept mum all this time. First, let me make an appeal to government of Pakistan that if it is really sincere towards people of Balochistan, it should open Balochistan to human rights organizations, to everybody, to media and everyone, to see that what are the realities. Having said that, I would have felt really grateful and really accommodated had Tarek, Fatah and General Bakshi ever hold a seminar on Sharmila, who sat on 16 years long fast, but nobody bothered. And having said that, I will also request all of you that as a human being, as a victim of violence, I would really appreciate a debate anywhere, whether in Kolkata or at some other place. And I sincerely invite Tarek, Fatah as well as General Bakshi and others to come and organize a debate on Balochistan, on Kashmir, on Dalits, on Punjab, on Northeast. Let us discuss issues, because unless we don't discuss issues, we will reach nowhere.
Well,
discussing issues
that's
is good,
right, Engineer Rashid, that's right. But the fact is, the issues to be discussed, what issues to be discussed can be the freedom of choice of any individual. What issue has to be discussed cannot be dictated by Engineer Rashid. You can discuss whichever issue you want to pick up. Anybody else can pick up an issue that he or she wants to pick up. Where is the debate on that? And last, I'm running out of time, Maulana Qasmi. The question is, why does any mention of Pakistan make
what I am telling you
nervous?
is that, ma'am,
Ma'am,
allow me to say something. You are not allowing me to complete my sentence. All what I want to say is that there should have been a debate in Kolkata. But at the same time, Tarek needs to be reminded
Your country is not so weak, Qasmi Saab. Your country, Maulana Saab, is not so weak that one discussion will disintegrate. The Prime Minister has spoken about Balochistan. The Prime Minister has spoken about Pakistan. Has it disintegrated the country?
Whenever we link Kashmir issue with Balochistan, we ourselves...
It is linked on a daily basis. In reports in newspapers, it is linked on a daily basis by India and Pakistan. The question is talking about the ethnic cleansing in Balochistan a law and order issue?
That is why we people are opposed of having debates on Balochistan in my soil.
You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry. It's the government of West Bengal which is really worried because there was no law and order situation across the country when the Prime Minister talked about Balochistan in his 15th August speech. The question is talking about the destruction of the Baloch language and culture a law and order issue? Is talking about ethnic cleansing in Balochistan a law and order issue? Is talking about the attempt to make Baloch minorities in their own country through the construction of the China-Pakistan economic corridor a law and order issue? None of these are law and order issues. The issue here is that we are taking the issue of the appeasement of a certain minority section to an extreme, and that is something that makes political parties extremely nervous. They have absolutely no problems in calling Burhan Wani a martyr, but when it comes to appeasement of Muslims in their own states, they want to set up, they don't even want a discussion on Kashmir and Balochistan. Is that what Mamata Banerjee government is nervous of in West Bengal, or would she look at her own backyard in Dhulagarh on what are communal tensions that require her attention at this moment? That's the question going out to the West Bengal government tonight. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us here on debate number 3 on this Thursday evening.